Here is my weekly video journal, and thing we went over in module was the FATE, fate, and how it affects our curiosity. And I really did like that because it made me think about how it was fear, and how fear affects my curiosity, assumptions, technology, and I feel like I messed all this up: technology and environment. And I really made me think how fear affects my curiosity of thinking, and how like sometimes my anxiety takes over and makes me question myself to not ask questions, and like how people are going to think about me if I ask that question, or how dumb I'm going to look. And so yeah, you gotta like figure out how to get out of that fear and ask more questions and interact more with yourself, and assumptions, like making assumptions on things and not asking because you think you know the answer to it already. And I've done that before plenty of times, and it's affected my curiosity. And technology, how technology has affected, like, you know curiosity in general. I feel like it's helped more than it's hurt, but sometimes it does hurt because technology can get so distracting, that, and like looking up and doing stuff like on AI, that like you don't have to think for yourself really. But I do think it helps curiosity because you are able to think more and see more stuff, because the internet brings such a wide variety of information to you, which is like talking about the environment. Like, your environment is what you are in, like your place. Like, I'm in Crete or Lincoln, and in Lincoln, if I was just only in Lincoln without technology, I would not be able to see some of that and learn some of the stuff I've learned without the technology that we have nowadays. I think technology helps so much. And yeah, I feel like that was a cool module because it helped me, think more about some of that stuff. I usually don't think about stuff like that, and curiosity. And I definitely did help open my views on curiosity, and some of the limits and blocks I've put on myself, and some things that have helped me be more curious. Uh, the first video I watched was Time Bending 365 Ways to Unlock Creativity and Innovation. And it talked about more of like life is as a series of photographs, and time perception is linked to memory and novelty. It was really cool to watch. And it was saying like say yes to life, accepting invitations out to places, and opportunities without hesitation. Like, don't think about it and say no just because you want to go home and be comfortable, or like you want to not be out of your comfort zone. Just say yes, and you'll see so much more like unique stuff in your life, and be brought into so much different situations just because you said yes to go in to do something, or some crazy stuff like getting a tattoo, or anything like that. He talked about rediscovering play, like how adults are not very like playful, and how kids, they can play with their minds, like they can create characters and places, and the innovation creativity with them is insane. So adults need to rediscover playing, and it should help open up creative and innovative windows. I feel like a lot of like artists and people like make movies and video games are able to kind of like break that barrier of rediscovering play, and it helps the creative and innovation so much when it comes to creating stuff. And that one was lasting lifestyle change. You gotta be able to implement this stuff into your life and actually do it, and not just like give up on it so early on. For it to affect your life, you have to do it full time and kind of keep pushing it and pushing it. Creativity requires risk. It talked about how to be creative, sometimes you have to take risk. Innovations and change are impossible without, stepping outside of your comfort zone. Next video I watched was how to hack your willpower for increased creativity. And this video was really good. I actually liked this video a lot. It talked about willpower, which I did talk about in one of my journals, and how willpower is very important. And willpower is the highest and well rested, fed, and mentally refreshed. It declines with hunger and fatigue or distraction. And That is so true. Some days after hard practice or long practices, I don't feel like getting anything done. I'm so tired. I haven't ate. I'm starving. Just want to get home, eat, and lay down and like in bed. But sometimes you gotta be able to power through it. Make yourself food, eat, and once you get that food in you, you'll be able to. If you feel better, you'll be able to get more stuff done, like homework, chores, everything around the house. And I talked about reducing barriers, removing distractions, doing the hardest work first in the day, tackling the hardest, most important task when your willpower is at the highest, which is in the morning. Once you wake up, you eat, and you feel great to go. Preventing energy depletion and on low tasks. Give and save money first, and just start. Don't procrastination is you when you're sitting down. It's so hard to get up and just do the first thing. But once you get up and do the first thing, you're already up. You gotta just keep going. Just start. Just start the day. Don't waste time on laying there or sitting down or I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it the next day. You gotta just start. Once you do something, it'll roll right into it. The third video was 1986 HP Business Computing Systems What If TV Commercials. The key things that I pulled out of this was innovation is continuous and spontaneous, and I think innovation is not just an act of in the moment. It is always a building block process. Customer problems become HP's problems. If the customer faces challenges and sees things wrong with the computer, that is HP's problem as well to figure out how to fix these problems for their employees or non employees, customers, and improve on their products. The what if mindset. HP has a what if mindset with everything that they do. So they constantly are asking what if and explore new possibilities within their brand and their products that they produce. Collaboration and communication, practical application technology, and focusing on business computing as a solution tool. The company views its computing equipment more than hardware and software and means solving client business product first. This week we did not have a mindset vitamins or anything, but we did have the chapter. I read chapter 7, and the chapter talked about central driver of creativity is vision and innovation because it provides a stretching goal and clear ways to focus and energize your effort into your goals, and I believe that is true. And it talks about Henry Ford's situation with affordable cars and Toyota's environmental goals and JFK's goals for the moon challenge. And some of these wouldn't be possible if these guys didn't step outside the box. Like JFK challenging to get to the moon, that was a big risk because what if NASA wasn't able to pull it off? And if they couldn't do it, that would have looked very bad for USA, especially in the space race versus the Soviet Union at the time. And sometimes, having a vision is literally like the vision is the central driver of being creative and getting to the point. So, like Ford making affordable cars, his vision was I'm going to make affordable cars and how am I going to do it? And that built upon the creativity of, like getting these cars made and how to make them more affordable for people while not being like, so and so shit boxes, and being able to mass produce them for people at decent quality. Uh, all these things started with the vision and stuff like that. And so this week has been a lot of creativity and kind of like how creativity is affected by certain things, and taking that fate stuff into these stuff. If you have fear of saying like yes or like talking or going out asking questions, you're never going to be able to go out of your comfort zone, which means you'll, even if you have great ideas in your head or do great, like think of great things, you won't be able to say it out loud and you won't be able to get your thoughts out. So these ideas are kind of useless because you won't ever get out to the public view of minds, and a lot of these things, even the environment, sometimes the environment you're in does affect you, and all these guys like Ford and stuff are probably in shops all day, or like Kennedy's in the White House all day. Sometimes maybe they had to move around and find new areas to about stuff. Also at the time was the technology difference. They have different technology at that time, so building and seeing rockets go up in the space or affordable cars is a lot harder to do with the technology they had. So they had to figure out ways to use the technology they have to build better cars. But yeah, that is this week's Mindset Journal. Thank you for listening.